tales of the strange and exotic. Going to see the Hobbit Desolation of Smaug. And I don't know, for some weird reason I like dressing up in the theme of the movie. It's the closest thing I have. I think I'm more elvish than hobbitish. I have nothing hobbity. And I think I've worn this for another movie. So I just have my long sleeve corset top, my leggings, and my old boots there, and my trip coat. That's all I had. And it's been out for a while, so hopefully there won't be too many people in the movie. The last one was Les Mis, and we had to sit next to a couple that had, I think they even had their phones on there. I was like, it's freaking Les Mis, shut the hell up. But I think I mentioned that in the review. So, that's what I'm doing. Probably won't bring my camera to the mall, which, you know, I'll do the review here. So, that's the plan for the rest of this video. Now on to see the movie. On to phase 2. The Desolation of Hall? No. I'm still in my Hobbity gear. It's the only Hobbit-ish thing I can think of. I don't have anything Middle-earth-ish. I could have gone Elvish, I suppose. And I could have gone the whole dragon route. Wouldn't you know, on our way back, as we stopped at Yon Will, there was a shirt. Black shirt with a dragon. Surrounded by, no less, golden thunder lightning bolts. I'm like, could have used that today, damn it. But lo, this is all I could, muster. So, I was rather impressed. The first, the first one was the first one. You introduce Bob, Bill, the, sleepy, slimy, the dwarves, Fine, great, wonderful. Gandalf, everybody. And they spent pretty much 3.5 hours just introducing everybody and saying, okay, you gotta go here. It felt stretched out. It was something they could have done in maybe a half an hour. I mean, you felt like you had been there 3 hours. This one, you did not feel that way. And I was so much more pleased with that, where you felt like you were actually doing something. And I spotted Peter Jackson's cameo right off. In the beginning, keep your eyes out. It just tied everything together. It was kind of neat seeing what was going on before it was going to happen, even though I got as far as the trolls, as I probably mentioned before, in the book, so I haven't gone past that. But at least now I know what's going on. So it was funny to, recognize things I shouldn't have known to recognize. And there was, what the hell else was going, and I still can't for the life of me. Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, I don't think he's the one, he's not the one playing Bilbo. It's the guy, I swear to God, he's the one that's playing Watson in Sherlock. What the hell's Cumberbatch playing? I don't know. Stephen Fry was in it. That was funny to me. I'm like, I know this dude. Of course, Stephen Fry. He had only a tiny little part, which is kind of disappointing. I don't know if he'll have a bigger part later on, but that was kind of neat. And when you see the Sixth Doctor in Lord of the Rings, it's like, well, he's got a TARDIS in the forest. So, and it's kind of funny because as you're watching the story, and I don't know if this is not aware, but apparent in the actual book, where, they're so worried about, Sauron coming back and all that stuff. It's like stuff that's going on now. When Lord of the Rings turn around, why is it a surprise? It's like, you knew this in The Hobbit, so you shouldn't be stunned a lifetime later here, So it just seemed kind of like, what? And when you see, the Dark Lord, that was damn cool. We didn't see the 3D version. There was very little to warrant seeing it in 3D. I don't think we saw the first one in 3D either, and that would have been a total waste of time. Like a Desolation of You. But why are your toes dirty? But I loved the pacing of the movie. It worked so much better for me because the time went by fast. So you didn't feel like you were, sitting there like, oh God, is it over? The introduction of new characters weren't, like, oh God, they're straining another one. And, I mean, I know time has passed since the first Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean, but you can tell Orlando Bloom has changed. He seems... I mean, of course he looks older, so it seems funny to me because he's younger Legolas. So, that was a tiny little distraction. But it's still cool to see Legolas doing his, elf thing. And I asked Mother, who went with me there, like, I wonder how much they paid Cate Blanchett for, like, basically the only time you saw her, she was doing this, in the Galadriel look she does, and just a few lines of dialogue to Gandalf. It's like... There was a few couple million right there. So, that was kind of funny. No Elrond that I could see, which kind of seems strange to me. But then again, I have not yet read the book, even though he was in the first one. The CGI was awesome. And when you finally saw Smaug, it was not a disappointment. Though he did very much remind me of Dragonheart. Just the face and the expressions, and it just... I kind of expected Sean Connery's voice to come out of him. Though I don't know who did the voice. It sounded awfully familiar, so I'm not sure. Wouldn't that be funny if that was Cumberbatch? I'll have to Google that, because I'm not sure. I'm like, you see these names, and I'm like, where the hell were they? And then you're like, recognize the faces and can't put the names to them. But, yes, this was... It met my expectations, so I was very pleased about that. Except we'll have to wait another year for the third one, of course. So... I'm not quite sure who's supposed to, what trilogy, well, they're all trilogies, but the Lord of the Rings group, I almost expected Arwen to show up, but it was some elfish name I couldn't remember. And Evangeline Lilly played her. And she made a very, very good elf. And she has a very elfish name anyways. Evangeline, right? Evangeline? I don't know. Eve. So... For the two people who have not yet gone to see it, worth to go see. We were the only two people in the theater, which was awesome. I wish it was that way when we went to see Stupid Les Mis. That way you could sing along with the movie. But, we went to, like, the first showing in the morning because this particular theater, I don't know if they all do it, it's $5 for the first showing, and then Tuesdays it's all day $5. So, yay. And I, of course, kifed, some of my own noms. So freaking help me. $5? $5 for a bottled water? What? And I used my, I have like an app for, I think it's like Cinemark or something like that, and you have it, if you have it on throughout the entire movie, you get like rewards, so I got like a free soda if you buy like a $20 popcorn. I don't understand how they come to these prices. Especially bottled water. But like friggin' popcorn. You could buy a whole damn box, fill a theater's worth of it, for a frickin' buck. Where the hell is this other $4 going? Though I suppose they gotta afford, the, technology to keep putting out these super expensive crap movies. It's like, what the fuck? Hell no, that's why we have big purses and bring them in ourselves. So I had my drink and my two little mini things of potato chips. So, I ain't paying no $5. But at least the previews were kind of interesting. I liked the look of the new RoboCop coming out. Not quite sure about the guy playing RoboCop. Of course, I'm used to like Peter Weller, and then I'm used to seeing more of Peter Weller when he did Rome Building an Empire, Egypt Building an Empire, when he was hosting those. And that was interesting. I can see him as a professor. Which he is, obviously. Syracuse University or something like that. So, it's just kind of like, Peter Weller's understated personality, sort of like, well, I don't know if understated is quite the right word either, but it's not like, I'm an actor, I'm in a movie, it's like, I don't know, they got some young guy that I almost can picture Carl Urban doing RoboCop, because he's like awesome and everything. So, I don't know. And it was only a matter of time that they would do sort of the mirror book series to Catching Fire is one of them. Whatever the hell the name of that book series is. Crap, and I want to read it too. The Hunger Games. You have The Hunger Games and Divergence in whatever series that is. In both of which I've heard of from Julia Graff there, when she did her Lit Chat reviews, and I'm like, those actually sound kind of interesting. But maybe I'll get the digital versions eventually. So, but after seeing the reviews, now I want to read those books. So I'd rather read the books and not bother with the movie. And I did get like the sample of The Hunger Games, and I kind of liked how it was. It seemed a little simplistic because of course it's young adult something rather. So, and it was interesting. I'd rather read the book than watch the movie. So maybe I'll attempt watching reading The Hobbit one more time. Now that maybe I can get past. I'm warming up to Bilbo though. I mean, I like the dude that's playing Bilbo. I don't know, in a weird way, he kind of gets lost in amongst the dwarves. It's dwarves and this little guy named Bilbo. I'm not quite sure what's actually supposed to be focusing on. In the book, it seemed like it was more focused on Bilbo. This one is all about the dwarves, which kind of makes sense because it's sort of their task, and they're just sort of bringing Bilbo along. But I don't know. It's just not quite sure. But I just hated Bilbo in the book, but I'm liking him better in the movie. Kind of like a character in my Krondor series. It was Kendaric. He was an ass in the book, but I loved him in the game. I guess because the way the guy brought him to life, the voice actor, and it's like, this Kendaric I like. So, I don't know. Great graphics. I liked the story, liked the pacing. Kind of got to... See, I think that's the biggest problem I had with this trilogy. You don't really feel like you get to know any of the characters. I mean, you feel an attachment to Legolas because, of course, you got to know him and the relationships, and, they kind of built within the Fellowship. Even amongst the dwarves, it was like, 2 of them you kind of get to know, and then the third one because something happened to him, and there's no attachment to the characters. It's just the action that kind of follows you along. So, I don't know, that was kind of my issue, but it wasn't like, oh, it's a horrible movie, but I liked it. Looking forward to the third one. I don't know, maybe eventually when they come out all together, I'll get like the extended super mega edition or whatever the hell Peter Jackson decides to put out. So, I don't have it yet, so maybe eventually I will have it in amongst my collection. But of course, after we did all that and cruised the mall, we had to do our thing. And seeing all the fancy jewels in Smaug's little collection there, I found that at Old Navy for $3. It's a little big though. This is a mediamo. I could have used a small. But then we all know how freakishly tiny my hands are, so. So I thought that was just kind of cool. It looked like a kingly ring, in, of course, red and silver, my favorite colors, next to black. They did have a black and silver ring, but then that wasn't on sale. So, what I saved for that, we stopped since it was on the way back. Our favorite place in all the world. The Will. Which I plan on donating you. Do you think they donated that kitty that was in the will? A person had, well, it had been a girl if it was a calico. A calico kitty wrapped up in a blankie, and the kitty's kind of like, la, la, la. I mean, I don't know. She was just in there patting the cat in the carriage, and the cat was covered in a blankie, being a good kitty. Why, we don't know. If they came from the vet or something, well then, well, I suppose if the kitty behaves, they won't need to be in a cage, unlike you. How do they have to be in a cage? Hi, people of YouTube. Welcome to the show of the strange and exotic. My shows will be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I should do strange kitty things. I'm a cat, and I dance, and I dance. Hey, you wanted your cameo. camera the whole world to see. No, anything but that. The pin in my butt, dude. Your kitty wiles made me lose my train of thought. And the rails are rather rickety in the first place. But yes, the kitty was sitting there, just doing its thing. Just seemed kind of strange because we've seen people with dogs come in, but you know, why not a cat? And it was like, must resist urge to pet kitty. You know. I know your kind just owns me. So, in amongst being admiring of pussycats, of course, I had to shop, and I now filled another $5 card, so yay for me. So, precariously and perched here. So the first things I got was for my man pet for work. Mentioned you wanted stuff on the ground. Things to drink out of that you could easily access the liquids. So I got this for $2 and this for 75 cents. And it goes as is, so we don't know if it's structurally sound or not. So I don't know. I don't quite know. This came from Leeds, and I think it's a... Please stand by. We're having technical difficulties. I'm working here, dude. You don't have to charge him extra for that type of thing, you know? And you wonder why I have hairballs. Dude, really? Do you mind? Do you kindly mind? I'm not going anywhere. My mommy has been so long. Really, dude? We just sit. Burger me. Again, lost my train of thought. Catalog, Leeds, don't know. Something says patent pending. So, I'll have to wash it through the thing, but this was kind of cool because it has like an extra little doodah here, and then your mouthpiece there. So, I don't know. Yeah, for 75 cents it was worth a shot, if not. So, put that in the wash. And this was kind of neat because this at least locks down, has a button, and this is more for like the coffee type thing. So I kind of liked that part of it. But I would think if you put like cold stuff in like an insulated dude, oh, it's aluminum. Okay, aluminum. I don't know. Can you wash aluminum in the washing machine? I don't know. But maybe he'll find these useful. Who knows? So that I got for him. Sounds wobbly. But of course, outside of my pretty ring, I got what else? Shoes. I'm a shoe whore. I admit it. Don't judge me. There's always room for one more. And these were $4 because they were Nike. Ooh, the wonder. And I thought they were kind of cool. I mean, they're a nice light shoe, and of course they're leather. And they fit perfectly because they're a US 6, so why they were in the kids section, I don't know. But, perfectly good. Let's see. Made in Indonesia. US 6. 21909. 32509. I don't know. So I'll have to look up and see what these were. They don't tell me what they're made out of. I mean, it looks like leather. They usually are. Fabric. So made is fabriqué. In French, I don't know. Which is weird. I don't know why they don't tell you what they're made out of. But they look pretty good. Nice and light. I don't know what type of sneaker these would be, per se. because they have kind of that kind of tread. But I thought they were neat, black and white. Why not? Not all impressed with Nike because it's a brand, but what the hey. But at least they weren't like $10 because they were Nike. They were only $1 more instead of $3. They were $4. I can handle that. So, the last thing I found was something I never would have dreamed I would find here in the U.S. Now, I don't know how many y'all are from, our neighbors up north, Canada. If you are, you will know who that is. I saw that and I'm like, oh my god, it's Ruby Gloom! And I found that online. I'll have to go and see if I can find more episodes on YouTube here. And yes, I love Misery. How can you not love Misery? But I liked Ruby Gloom too, and I love the fact that it goes, only my kitty understands me. And this didn't even say what size it was. I figured it would be like either in French or in, was it? They're metric and we're standard, which is kind of funny because we're the one country that doesn't do anything that we do exactly different. No, we do our own damn thing basically, and everybody else is on metric. So technically standard wouldn't be standard because everybody would be doing that. I don't know. I have a hard enough time doing what we do. Let's see. So, and the tag just says Ruby Gloom. There's no size to it, but it does look kind of small. But if I can fit my person in here, I'm fitting my person in here. And this was what? Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know, where'd my receipt go? 4. Came to 8 something, didn't it? 9 something? 2? I don't know. But I think this was 3. Because t-shirts are usually 3, unless he charged me 2 because it's a kid's one. I don't know. But it was in the grown-up section. And wouldn't you know? Of course, even if this didn't fit, I'll find some way to do something with this because it's Ruby Gloom. That's why I got it. They had a black shirt. They had like a sword and something behind it, like on the chest, and it was black and it was kind of cool looking. Small. I gotta account for breasts, okay? I've gotta find some room in the shirt for those. So that I didn't think I could fit in. Found a cute little, I guess you could have considered it a dress in the kids section. Well, it was a 16. Well, I could fit in a kid 16, but this looked awfully tiny in it. So, of course, being past puberty, my ass is now wider than it would have been when I was a kid. So that didn't fit. There was something else I liked that, was too small. Oh, it was the black shirt with like bats on it and had black and gray stripes on the sleeves. Shirts that you've probably seen me wear before. That was small, and I'm like, what the hell? Why aren't people? I'm small, but I still have extra parts to buy. It's like, what? But I still brought Ruby Gloom home, so I'm hoping it'll fit. Oh, side story about the sizings of stuff. I don't know how many of you are near a Deb's store. Most of our malls in this area have one. It used to be a pretty decent store. I used to get a lot of my shirts, kind of medievally fluffy, back in those days when that was in fashion. Would have kept them, except they're horrible colors. I kind of grew out of that phase. But there was, I want English. They had leggings there, and we all know I love my leggings. And there were a few of them. One had like a U.S. flag with like skulls all over it, which was kind of cool. And one pair that looked really, really neat. It was gray and silvery, and I think it had a bunch of crosses, which are all in the right direction. Some of them had the upside-down crosses, which is not a good thing. Foo-foo, you're not helping. But these were really kind of cool. Really kind of hard to decide what size will fit my booty. These are more of like really thick tights, which are kind of what leggings usually are made of. That sort of cottony type material. It's really hard. Think of really, really thick tights. These were those silky kind, that I you, I think I've already seen in a haul that looked like, I think it might have been my birthday haul this past year, which are okay, but they are really slippery, and especially if you don't get the right size. The ones I have, I could probably have gone the next size up, but it's so hard to freaking judge, especially in that material. Well, I'm wanting these, and they were like $10, and I could have gotten, if I knew something like that would fit, I would have gotten maybe one of the other ones, and it would have been half off. It was buy one, get one half off. Well, we find one. One's grande, and I think one was what, Chico. Nope, grande and mediamo, that's what it was. Medium and large. Well, medium looked a little small. Large, I wasn't quite sure. Well, tried to find another pair in like the bigger section. Wouldn't you know, it's 2XL. 2 inches bigger, which would have been way too big. Mother finds one 1XL. We compare them. You know, holding them up next to each other. The medium was just slightly bit larger than the 1XL, like in the leg. There was no difference, save for like maybe they had been stretched out a little more. Not even like part of like the sizing where, you know, the 2XL was 2 inches bigger than the medium. Or no, the large. The 1XL was exactly the same size as the large. I'm somewhere in the middle there. It's like, I mean, it's bad enough you're not sizing correctly within the garments, but at least separate them. So how can a medium or a large be the same size as a 1XL? There's got to be at least some actual visible difference. So needless to say, I did not buy said leggings. And we're talking about this as the employees are there, like they give two shits, and I'm like, you know, you lost money because your sizing is bullshit. When you have two different sizings on the same garment, basically. And I hate trying things on, especially leggings, because, you know, after a while they do get stretched out, but it's like, you know, I shouldn't have to do that. I suppose I could have got them and returned them, but it's like, at least, you know, there should be like maybe that much more difference between the sizes. I wanted those leggings. I don't have any like really cool leggings, just my plain black ones because I can't get my fat ass in any decent ones. And of course, wouldn't you know, the ones in Bling Bling, the name of the store where I got the fancy ones I had just mentioned, the ones I like, you can't find in the store. It's like, stop tormenting me. So, desolation of the leggings there. But I will have to console myself with my cool Ruby Gloom shirt. If anything, it'll be a little snug, what the hey, because it stretches. But that is just, I mean, you'd think it would say something about Made in Canada, but there's like no other tag other than just saying Ruby Gloom. So I don't know where the heck something like this would come out of, if it's a, you know, what kind of store in Canada sells them, if it's like a Topic, or if it's like a Disney store type thing. I'm not sure what company put it out, but if you can find it, it's... How can you explain Ruby Gloom? It's basically like, you know, strawberry shortcake for goth kids. You know, it's... You just Google Ruby Gloom, you'll understand. Really cute, really fun. The characters are funny, the stories are cool. And, you know, I wish we had this stuff down here in the States. But we're stupid, what can I say? So, okay, maybe I'll cut this short before this becomes 3.5 hours long. But then, you know me. Thank you for watching. Do comment down below if you've seen Ruby Gloom and what you like about that. Or your opinions on the trilogy there, the Hobbit trilogy. Rate a thumbs up for randomness. And maybe more movie reviews if I go and see them. Like I said, the last movie I saw was Les Mis, since they don't want to put out any movies I want to watch. And subscribe. There's always room for one more at The Strange and Exotic. See you next time. Bye.